I want to preface by saying that this is currently my third playthrough of the game. My first was on the PlayStation 5. I 100% the game. This was before New Game Plus was released. My second playthrough was on PC, and my third is also on PC, but on New Game Plus. So I think I'm qualified to say that this is a great game. It's it's just more of Spider-Man. I love the fighting, the swinging, the story, everything is great. But if you really want to experience the game, your best bet is to play on the PlayStation 5 if you have it. Because on PC, it it does not run well. We're gonna go over. I have five examples here. Two of them I feel are minor, and three of them major. But it'll just show how badly ported the game is. Um, I'm going I'm going to try to stay away from spoilers, so I'm not gonna really be showing much spoilers, but you know, minor spoilers. Um, for context, this game is terribly ported. Like, this is not a surprise. If you've read the reviews, everyone will tell you the same thing. There are some people who say otherwise, but this game, in and of itself, has blue screen my PC multiple times when I have just tried to quit the game. I was originally planning on making a whole video about the whole story, but my PC had blue screened while recording, and it corrupted my video file. So so I just gave up on that. But it's my fault for using MP4 and not MKV. If you know, you know, and now I know. But let's just go at it. The first minor bug I want to talk about is a streaming issue. So this comes if you're recording on PC, and if you don't disable both haptic sounds and vibrations, I think it's both of them. Um, I tried streaming it to a friend, and she was telling me about how horrible these sounds were. You'll hear them now in a second. Um, but yeah, if you don't disable them, you'll hear them in recording and also in streaming, and just have a listen. So yeah, it's minor. It's nothing big. That's doesn't affect you playing the game. That's only when recording. So it's not a big deal. Um, the next minor problem I would say is like this is something that it was just more funny that it happened. Um, there is a section in the game where this is getting in the territory of a little bit of spoilers. So if you want to go completely blind, I would recommend you just click off now. Now, I'll give you a few seconds, but there's a part in the game where you see that Harry Osborn, he has the symbiote, and he basically becomes like another Spider-Man. Like he becomes the third guy in the trio, and he's helping you clear out this den where they're holding Dr. Connors, that's the lizard. And for some reason, like this wasn't a one-time bug. I've seen this every time I've done it, and I went back and re-recorded this. There's just two Harrys fighting. Like I even go through here on the camera app just to show that it's funny. That's it. There's just two Harrys. It doesn't really take you out of it, but it just goes to show like this is just there's a lot of problems with the game, and stuff like this isn't a single time occurrence. This is like coded into the game basically. But done with the minor stuff, we can get into the more major issues that I had with the game. Firstly, the frame rate. If you're outside, it is horrendous. One always on the top left, the Steam integrated frame counter. And whenever you're inside, and not turning, basically, you will get a good amount of frames. Like I play on relatively low settings, but when you're inside and also not turning, you'll get a good amount of frames. But when you're outside and you try turning, it'll cut like in half. It's not that big of a deal, the frame cuts, but it's another step of poor optimization in the game, and it really does. It bothers me because I don't care about getting like 150 frames. I don't need 140 frames. When I played on the PlayStation, I played it on 60 FPS and the low settings, but so I can get 60 FPS, and I enjoyed it like that. I thought it was fantastic. You can't really do that here. You have to change the settings manually yourself, and it's not good. You'll get into situations where you just get the most horrendous frame cuts, and I'll show that here with the opening fight where you fight Sandman. One of the coolest scenes, I think, in the opening scene, and I'll play it here just so you can see it. Um, yeah, as you saw, Sandman threw Miles, and it's like a really cool scene, in my opinion, because you're like, he's throwing him super fast across the city, and then he's slingshotting himself back into the fight. But it also takes you out of the moment when the choppiness is just like you could see the choppiness just ruining the moment, in my opinion. But but yeah, um, that's Strange Generation. Another thing that also happens in this happens a lot, and I guess I can clump in these next two major moments that I like. These are the most memorable that I was able to go very quickly into the missions menus. So at the very beginning of the game, you are in a classroom with Peter as your teacher and Miles as a student. Miles walks out because he sees the Sandman attack happening and then urgently calls for Peter to go. And as they walk outside, like the principal is just like T-posing. It's just I'll show the footage here.
Are you sure this isn't something you can handle yourself? I'm sure. Okay, class. Read chapter 4 or 5 or whatever. Miles, I need this job.
And it's just weird, it's funny. But it's stuff like that's weird. Um and then the last example would be this one here with the symbiote. Every time there is a symbiote transformation, so you go from your regular looking dude to having the symbiote on top of you, it just always lags the hell out and just somehow tweaks. In this specific example, it's the most memorable one because you could see how the suit is like preforming and then like leaves a remnant there and then it's just a lot of this stuff sounds like well like in the grand scheme of things all of this stuff is like stupid, but at the end of the day a lot of people don't have a PlayStation and they're trying to play this game on PC and you're spending $60 or potentially 70 I think for the deluxe edition. It's a rush port onto PC with a lot of these issues that really just take you out of it, but also the amount of crashes and blue screening is ridiculous. I don't think I've ever had a game blue screen me. Like if when I got blue screens, it'd be because like a computer part is failing, not because of the game. And it just goes to show how messed up this game is. Um, if you somehow made it this far, and you want any takeaway, firstly, if you can, just play the game on PlayStation. It's better on PlayStation, better played on controller, and in my opinion, it's better played on controller. Just play it on PlayStation. Um, if you can't, if you don't have one, then play it on PC, and it's going to have a lot of these issues, but it is a good game. Um, I would maybe wait for more patches to roll out because the state this game is in is frankly embarrassing. I don't know. It's such a shame. I love the PlayStation game so much. I had so much fun with it. I 100% it the first time around, and it's ridiculous. And if you do end up playing on PC, don't mess with your graphic settings like too hard in game, especially if you're like trying to record or whatnot, because it'll crash on you more likely than not. Alt tabbing is also not a good thing to do. It will crash your game sometimes. Not a majority. It's like a 10% chance, but it's still there. Stuff like this is really annoying. But at the end of the day, I think it's a good game. I think it's a terrible port. Yeah, thanks for listening to my rambles. See you, and God bless.